Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Welcome back.
Yes, guys, so it's been a while since we did another mantra video.
Yes.
And so I know there's a lot of you out there that have been finding that mantras are really helping your life.
They really do. They've helped my life, changed my life. Yeah.
Completely. And when you think about it, when we say something, when we vibrate something, we're putting sound waves out into the ether. We're putting vibrations out, frequencies out. And that can change the environment around us as well as in us.
Yes, it can make things just sort of roll smoother around you.
Definitely. And so we're going to give you one that is a goddess mantra. And so it's basically going to be invoking the divine feminine, which has been basically long forgotten in the Western tradition for the most part. In Catholicism, you have people that will pray to Mary. And really what that is beckoning is just that missing part of the whole Western tradition. Because it's very, very patriarchal. It's very, very male dominant.
And it's gotten us so far out of balance, it's almost unrecognizable.
Exactly. So this is going to invoke the energies of basically Shakti. And so when we look at Hinduism and Hinduism's so many varied ideologies, Shiva and Shakti are basically representations of the Tao. When you get down to it, the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine. You could view Shiva as, again, like Sadhguru always quotes Shiva. Shiva comes from two words, Shi and Va, which means that which is not. So that means basically like potential, and ultimately it's referring to the universal cosmic mind, the mind from which we all spring.
Yes, and they have kept this information from us for a very long time, and for good reason.
Then we have Shakti, which is the goddess, which is the divine feminine principle. So, Shiva is yang and Shakti is yin. And together we have this manifest universe. And so, the goddess, you could view it as if the goddess is like the canvas that the painting is being put on. Whereas, the God aspect, the Shiva aspect, is the mind from which the idea of the painting comes.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
That is exactly what we're looking at. And so we are looking at a goddess of beauty and wealth and prosperity right there. So that is Mahalakshmi.
She's a really good one. She's one of my favorites that came to me probably, I don't know, a few years ago.
Well, it's more like about 5 to 7. Because it happened to us at the same time. Really, I know because it was when I was opening a particular practice, and she came to me, and I didn't recognize her, but I had 3 different, very intuitive, quote unquote, psychic clients that all described the same thing. They said there's a beautiful woman with long dark hair, and she keeps telling me to ask you, why are you pushing away my gifts?
Yeah, she doesn't like that.
And so, at first I was like, well, that's strange because I haven't had a spirit guide that looked like that. I did have one that had long black hair, but it didn't look like her. And then it clicked all of a sudden, and I started to do a little research, and I figured out it was Lakshmi. And so I had 3 people tell me the same thing. And I was pushing it away because I don't like the system that we're in. And I recognize the system that we're in is one that is all about keeping us, in need of the system, in debt to the system, locked down to where we can't grow like we should be able to grow and help others. So I was always kind of pushing away the financial side of things and the material prosperity that could come. And she was trying to help me because that's part of what she does. She's bigger than just that. Now, in Hinduism, you have a Trinity, just like you do in Christianity. Christianity's Trinity is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, or Holy Ghost, depending on how old you are, pretty much, the way it was brought up and what church you would go to. Now, there you have, 2 males and something that is viewed as immaterial. So in Hinduism, you have really a double Trinity. You have Brahma, the creator. You have Vishnu, the preserver, and you have Shiva, who is the destroyer. Now, there's counterparts to them. It's male and female, and it's recognized. So the counterpart to Brahma is Sarasvati, and this is Sarasvati right here, and she's the goddess of wisdom. Usually she is seen dressed in white. And then with Vishnu, the counterpart is Lakshmi, and Vishnu is the preserver. And then with Shiva, the counterpart is in more modern times thought to be Parvati, but there's other traditions as well. And when we go into the Shakti tradition, Shiva is paired with Durga.
Yes, and the thing is that they work together. They need each other in a way.
And ultimately, all the goddesses are one goddess. All the gods are one god. And ultimately, everything is one universal mind. And that is Brahman. It's Brahma with an N on the end. Brahman. Brahman is the totality. Brahman is the complete Tao. It's that which cannot be named.
Yes, exactly.
But it's much easier to see, feel, and know the divine feminine side because you're walking on her. You experience her all the time. She is creation.
Yes, she is.
She is creation in all its manifest forms. So when we look at Durga, she can either be riding the tiger or the lion. And 5 years ago, in the middle of the night, I saw an orb in front of me, and my partner at that time saw the orb change into the head of a lion, a life-size head of a lion, and that orb came back 3 more times. And so I know it was basically these beings communicating with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have been for a while.
They have been, and we don't always recognize it. So we need to, be aware of that and look for the synchronicities. Trust yourself when you see something out of the corner of your eye. Take a few moments to get still, calm your mind, and just kind of put out your feelers. What are you feeling? If you can get your mind to just be calm, see what comes into it. And again, it's not so easy for most people in the West to allow their mind to go completely still. It can be very hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, they have our system designed to keep us in chaos.
So you might say, when you look at Durga, oh, wait a minute. Okay, well, she's got 4 arms. Mm-hmm. Lakshmi's got 4 arms. Why does Lakshmi have 4 arms? And then if we were to see, say, Radhe, who is Lakshmi incarnate as Krishna's love, she'll have 2 arms. Krishna has 2 arms. Rama had 2 arms. But when we look at Vishnu, he has 4 arms. So what does all this denote? Well, it's denoting a different level of being is what it's really denoting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very important to know.
So when we look right here at Lakshmi and Sarasvati. Let's see, in this particular picture, they're not showing Sarasvati with 4, but she's typically pictured with 4. And then we see Durga, and she's got 8 arms right now. So that's because Durga is really all the goddesses rolled up into one.
Yes, and she can do a lot.
She can. Yeah, she most definitely can. So, the myth of Durga is an interesting one as well. So she is a principal form of the goddess, also known as Devi and Shakti. So when we say Devi or we say Shakti, we're talking just simply about the divine feminine.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
In kind of its ultimate form. So according to legend, Durga was created for the slaying of the buffalo demon, Mahi Asura, by Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and the lesser gods. So again, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, they're the big trinity, and their consorts that we're talking about right now, like Lakshmi, Sarasvati, Parvati, or also, Durga, if you're talking Shiva and Shakti. So it can get confusing till you get deeper and deeper into this. Now, the lesser gods are something like Indra, for instance. Now, Indra really equates to Zeus, in my mind. Indra, Zeus, Jupiter, they're very similar energies. I've asked you this in the past, and you do agree?
I do, yep.
Yeah, so, those are the lesser gods that emanate. They're an emanation below. So we could also kind of equate this to when we look at, like, say, if you're coming out of Gnosticism, and you have Sophia, wisdom, and Sophia is also the divine feminine as well. Then we have like archons and we have archangels as well. And if we look at the 4 archangels as being those energies which are in charge of the manifest universe that's manifesting through earth, air, fire, and water, then we get an idea. And so when we're talking about Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, we're talking about a higher aspect of the universal mind.
Yes, that's important to know.
Everything keeps going on down, all the way down to humans. But it doesn't mean that humans are powerless, because we have the Jiva inside us, the individual soul, which is a spark. It is a piece of the divine fire, if we're going to look at it that way. And the Atman, we are eternal, and we are a part of that universal consciousness.
And we all have access to these beings, and we have access to their blessing and love.
So, according to this legend, all these gods tried to slay this demon, and they couldn't do it. So, altogether they came, and embodying their collective agency and energy, Shakti, they made Durga. And she's both derivative from the male divinities and the true source of their inner power in manifestation. Again, thinking of the male entities as being more like that, especially Shiva is traditionally thought to be more like that original thought from the universal consciousness that brings about. It's like the sperm and the egg. Without the sperm, the egg is just infertile and it doesn't bring anything forth. So it takes the sperm from the male to impregnate the egg and start, the reproduction into a new being. So what they did is they brought Durga to life, and she's greater than any of them singly, born fully grown and beautiful. Actually, she's a carbon copy of Lakshmi as far as her looks. Durga presents a fiery, menacing form to her enemies. She's usually depicted riding a lion with 8 or 10 arms, each holding the special weapon of one of the gods, who gave them to her for her battle against the buffalo demon. Durga Puja, held annually in her honor, is one of the great festivals of northeastern India. And, puja is basically a way of worshiping. So there is a mantra here. Om, Aim, Reem, Kleem, Chamundaye, Vishaye. And this is the mantra basically that will bring that energy into your sphere of being. It's the divine mother energy.
Very protective.
This is a very protective energy for sure. And so this will remove all effect of all types of black magic, unfavorable effect of negative planets, bad luck, health problems, or problems posed by enemies. So it's a very, very powerful one. It's definitely one of protection. It's one of the divine feminine. And when you think about it, we are living in the realm of the divine feminine, in that we are right now in these 3D manifest bodies.
Exactly.
So, Om, Aim, Reem, Kleem, Chamundaye, Vishaye. That is a very, very powerful mantra that I've only been doing recently, maybe like the past couple weeks, but can feel the effects.
Yeah, I definitely feel the effects and see them too.
And I'll have all these links for you guys as well. Yeah, she said see them because she didn't understand. She was watching me doing my standing meditation, and she said she got the impression of a panther, a black panther coming out of me.
Yeah, black panther coming off the left shoulder.
Interesting. And so when we look at that, the goddess Kali wears the skin of a black panther. And so, Kali is another aspect of the Durga. Kali can be uncontrollable. The only thing that could control Kali is Shiva.
And you don't want to mess with Kali.
No. It's a very, very powerful energy. So goddess Chamunda in Hinduism is a very popular and powerful deity. This name represents the fiery aspect of Ma Durga, manifested by Mother for annihilating the wicked forces from the face of this universe and to protect the virtuous and pious people. That's why I felt like, this is one that I'm going to start doing on a regular daily basis because, this energy, Durga's energy, is one that's brought up to fight the darkness.
Yes, and we could all use a little protection these days.
So representing the supreme goddess of the universe, Chamunda is a highly benevolent form, blessing the devotees with all forms of wealth, happiness, and prosperity, as well as protection.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So again, this is one that you might want to do if you feel like you're under attack by dark forces.
Yes, absolutely.
Which many, many people have felt that way in these times because it's actually real.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So again, this is one that I would heartily recommend, especially if you feel that there is something negative that is attacking you. So I'll give you guys all the links. As always, I want to thank everybody for your support over on Patreon and also on Ko-Fi, because we couldn't do it without you guys in this fight against the darkness out there.
We truly, 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 deeply appreciate it.
As always, guys, God bless and namaste.
Namaste.